Okay, we're live. Now, to get us live on Facebook. It's always an interesting thing to try to do. I don't know if that worked or not, but we'll see. Just waiting for people to get into the room. Okay, on my page, solution. Alrighty. Hi, I am Dr. Brenda Power, and that is in Metaphysics, the nature of being. And this is Medicine Woman Soultion. That's Soultion. Oh, looks like we're going to have an issue with one of these today. And we're going to just say thank you, Spirit, for helping us get out of this. We don't know what's going on, but it looks like it'll be a good day, because when you live in expectancy, then you can learn to trust in finding the answers and allowing yourself to go to your spiritual intuition instead of your ego intuition or your fear. Yeah, it's not working, so we'll just clear that off. We'll start again. All good. So we are on live on Facebook as well, twice on TikTok and one on YouTube. I look forward to reading your comments, and tell me if you're happy to be here. If you are, then send me a 2, the number 2. Send me some peace. Send me some peace. We can help hold this space in a very unique, loving way. It's always good. Just waiting for other people to get into the room. And we'll start. Today is about intuition. So kind of think about your intuition. Think about what you think what do you think it means? A lot of people have trouble understanding about intuition. They will use their gut intuition, but if you're using that certain amount of intuition, you have to understand which mindset is the one that's interpreting it. It's the mindsets. That's what we have to really begin to grasp. And like I said, we're going to talk about a few things that will help. All right, I think I have all of the screens up. Hello, Angela. You have been inspired me for today's show. And she asked a very important question. It's like, as you start with your, being who you are, and you start experiencing things and doing things that other people haven't, then what happens is you don't learn to trust yourself, because you've are still working and operating of when you were little, and learn to turn to people, ask because you're curious, is that good or bad? And then if you have a belief system that's in your environment, and that means from cultures, from society, from religion, from any place, then they may tell you their fears. They may give you that information that is what they know. And when you start to meet generations, you'll have a tendency to get people's opinions from what they've experienced or what generation they're from. Now, all of them are important. Okay, everybody's right, everybody's wrong. Hello, Crystal. And Judy. And Amy, I think's here. So this, we don't really want to take it lightly. We know it comes from everything that we keep passing down through time. And we stick with traditions, we stick with rituals, we stick with the older generation's beliefs, and each generation that comes in is has been in at least I don't know, approximately maybe 50 years or more. I think a little bit more. And what can I see? Ah, no, I can't. Anyway, so around um, let's give it around 60 years, 60, 70 years. Every generation is coming in. You may have heard that, oh, I got a rainbow child, I got a crystal child, I've got an indigo child, I got this. And, it's like, what are these crazy people talking about? And these are kids that are coming in, and the spectrum of how they're coming in is that they can be extremely gifted or they're not. But what they're doing on a soul level is coming in holding a certain frequency that the last generation in consciousness did not hold. There were certain perspectives of certain souls that have, just selected few. And usually, what is that? They are the ones, the pioneers, the ones that come in. And then generation after generation, more will build on those first pioneers. And so you'll be, if you can see further and do more, it's because you're standing on the shoulders of giants. That the idea that you're born and you're bringing in new levels of consciousness, new levels of thinking, feeling, being, instead of the same old pattern, the same old collectiveness. And sometimes you'll start to feel like you don't fit in. You'll think differently. You will then compare yourself. And then, if you've had parents that did not know how to consciously parent their children, there's nothing wrong with it. We're not blaming anybody. It's the collective of how our soul chose to wake up. Okay. And so within that, and it's a good question from Jaja, can you talk about blueprint meaning? So there is different types of blueprint. So in your soul's blueprint, it is your individual way of how you're going to have themes and all of these things that come in. Okay, very simple. This is just designed for you, customized for you, and how you're going to look at every variable, every choice, everything you do. Now, the body itself and has this blueprint. It is a blueprint of thinking and feeling and being, and it's a spiritual blueprint. So, when I have clients, they'll talk about poverty, and they'll talk about how their experiences. They'll talk about how the negative emotions about their experience, and I'll say, okay. Or they'll like, this is always happening to me. And I'll say, okay, let's look at your blueprint. And that is when you were growing up from zero, to however old you are, you were observing and being and experiencing and downloading the first 7 years of your life how to be a little human. Then after that, you started to practice and experience on different levels. So over time, the environment will affect, what are your choices? So the moment you, oh my God, you've over identified with matter, and there will be this part of you that accepted, believed, and gave away your willpower to what just occurred. Now it's your story, but it doesn't have to be the life theme forever. You get to change this. We've kind of forgotten how we can change who we are. So it comes to belief systems and limitations and restrictions, and what era did you come from? So every child, every generation that comes in will have one person that'll be awake within the family. Now, awake is not to condemn others, it is how you see things differently. You be more right brain than left, or you have more compassion than the other, but you'll be experiencing your levels of chakras or levels of consciousness differently than the generations before. And you are meant to experience and to explore all these things. So when you have these limitations, it'll look like Okay, I've downloaded this, that the earth is flat, and some people say the earth is round. Now you're starting to notice that there are differences. Like some people believe that healthy fat is still bad fat, whereas some people have experienced and done things that healthy fat is healthy fat, and not all fats are equal. And so the knowledge that you start putting into your filing cabinet. So let's see if I can make a picture with spirit. And you know what? I forgot to test to see if this camera is going to work, but let's give it a shot anyway. Okay, let's give it a shot anyway. Oh, that's not too bad. Let's straighten it up just a little bit. And let's see what we can get. Okay. Oh, I should have done the braid on the other side. See, that's me judging me. And that's something that you do. You want to heal out. You want to stop. You want to consciously go, what did I just say? So you can cancel, clear, delete, and you can learn to go, oh yeah, I can stand differently. I can see myself differently. And the cancel, clear, delete is you're choosing to say, did I really want to put that into the universe that I don't like the way this looks and get all riled up and lose who you are? The mindset would be ego mindset, survival mindset, the judging mindset. But that's not who you really are. That's not who you really are. Because when you start to remove those restrictions, that when your ego mindset starts to, you only look through. So when you only look through your ego, then that means, okay, so here is your frontal lobe. We're going to just do a really rough sketch of, what a person's face is. So you may laugh, and that's good. We like laughter. Oops, I'm going to have to put this down because a lot of you may not be able to see it. Oops. Give me just 1 second. Charlie, does not mean for you to chew on it. Okay, so hopefully we can see this. So in our head, this frontal part is the frontal part of our brain. Okay, and it creates reality. It helps you create reality. And how does it help you create reality is your personalities. And I really don't like this pen, so I may change it and fix my light just a little bit so that we can see something just better on the screen. Okay, and I'm not liking any of those markers, so that means I'm going to get a new one. Okay, now the frontal lobe is also used to help you survive. And if any damage is to that frontal lobe, like a lobotomy, then your natural instinct to, as a baby, to root, to look for food, to know that the body needs sustenance, or the main thing every human needs is that we have needs, instinctual needs, certain needs, to be held, to be loved, to have comfort, to have food, to have shelter, to have all of these things. Okay, so you kind of know that these are where your needs are. Now, again, if you were to damage the frontal lobe because you don't want to feel, or you don't want to think, or you don't know how to take care of your thinking, then you will not want to seek help. You won't want to seek to heal. You won't even want to seek to live, because the connections are very important. So majority of people that live in observation and fear, when you first 7 years of your life, you are learning to be your ego, which is you're creating a mindset so you can interpret the world. But when you create to use the mind to become the set, it is who and where did you get it from? Who and where did you get that information from? So a lot of times we will borrow that information. Okay, so Jaja says, no matter how many times I go back to childhood and confront that little girl, she's still hurting. And well, I'll tell you why. Because in my reality and what I've done and taken the time for some over 30 years to understand is that you have to tap into the innate wisdom. Your body holds the pain, an emotional chemical peptide that's tied to your cells, and you are 50 trillion cells. You are a community. And the reason I use different tools like pulse points, I must put my hair in something, and you're using the frontal lobe in the top of the head, you're engaging to bring the blood back up here. And so ego will be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And when you use this tool like this, it replaces and lets the ego be a filter. But you get to change that filter and you start to resolve to evolve, okay? The filters, this is how you create reality. You need this electromagnetic guiding omni-apparition, which means you are taking something that's you can't see, a wave of possibilities, and you're making it a particle, and you're allowing yourself to see through the filter. But you're choosing as you heal with, this is why my students is all getting better and improving in their life and really is growing, is because they're dismantling or dissolving the chemical peptides so that it transforms your thought processes. So when you are saying I'm set in, my mind is set, okay, then you have what's called restrictions. So this restrictions, you can refer to it as limitations, okay? But what about it? What about it? You can't grow any further. You can be capped. You'll be like, this is a certain set of information that I know, and because I haven't allowed new information in, then I have to keep creating my reality the same way. You cannot create a new reality with the same old information that created that reality in the first place. So this is why we heal. This is why we choose to change the way the blood flows into our frontal lobe, because the frontal lobe and inside of our body, down in here by the belly, is called a visceral nerve. Okay, so what happens is that we have all of these nervous systems, but when you are in stress mode, blood will leave the forebrain and go to your limbs. In the visceral nerve, it'll pull from your organs and go to your limbs. Why? So that you can survive. You fight, flight, freeze. It's stress, it's tension, it's all of these. But you don't have to live that way. Aw, thank you for the force. So you learn how to tap into the innate, which takes care of the limitations and restrictions. So people come to me and go, oh my God, this is hurting. And I'll say, measure, measure, measure. And the important part of measuring is it helps you learn how to be what? More of your spirit, more conscious of your spirit. Now you're rebuilding how the set principles of your mind. So you're going to end up creating a new mindset. But we don't kill us off, we don't do this. But as we're healing and the emotion is released, what happens is that the emotions drop what's called a wisdom. It's a gem. Now, what happens is we experience what love is not. So we can use it as a parameter. And once you start to have a parameter, you will know where you went and where you are, and you can compare it and you can measure, and then all of a sudden you will get that information that will help you create a new mindset. Now, to answer her question, is that when you do not use the body, this beautiful innate wisdom, that consciousness has put together, that spirit, that God, that love is love. Love is peace and harmony and joy. Love is love. When you do not know how to do that, you will go into left brain, you'll go into stress mode, the blood will be pulled from the frontal lobe, your organs aren't going to get nourished, and then now you're trying to figure out how to figure out life. You can't even fight your way out of a paper bag. So we intellectualize. Left brain only, we're disconnected from the right. The left brain is like, emergency, 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 and the right brain is like, ah. But if you bring these two together and you mirror and marry these two energies, you create this infinity that you're going to intellectually be able to figure it out while you go into your right and bring in other than what you're capped with your restrictions. But you get to bring in this new information. Now, the brain just loves new information. Oh my God, That's where neuroplasticity comes from. Your brain is like, oh, yeah, and it keeps it healthy. And as you start to bring in new information, you will then start to change that strict, rigid belief system that says this is the only way it can be. Okay? So we want to be done intellectualizing, because what people have done with studies of the brain and things like this is that what they did is that when you intellectualize, and I know I spelled that wrong, but it's okay, intellectualize without your right brain, because you want to get out of stress, because in your stress, you're just going to zero in and try to survive. But if you intellectualize with stress, with anxiety, with emotions, Charlie, oh, scared me. When you do that, your brain fires and wires in that state, that negative state, that negative, emotion. What's that create? It creates a nocebo effect, which means you're making your brain worse. It was just a 2-track, and then it became a rut, and then it's now permanent. Well, it doesn't have to be. This is why healing the way we do is important. So we want to change the nocebo effect. We want to change the way we intellectualize. We want to change the way that we fire and wire our brains, so that we do not have to keep rinsing and repeating and creating a revolution that we have to stay in hell. So when I discovered that, it's like, hold on, I use the energy of the body, I use the innate wisdom, I use different forms of tools, and boy, the biggest thing is, how do I know I know? And that is how I learned to measure it. I listened to the words, I listened to the content, and I listened to, oh, it's a 10. And then being able to, like doing success hope therapy, is bringing the blood back up, and it starts to calm the rest of the body. It's like, I am safe. Because in Maslow's hierarchy's needs, you can't get to self-actualization unless you take care of the foundation. And the foundation is that, I am safe, so it's 6 is not success. It is safety, security, stability, sanity, serenity, and space, which is freedom. And when those become balanced, and you feel safe, and you feel loved, and you all of a sudden can operate with full body, with your wholeness. And you start to create a placebo effect. You start to transform the negativity. And when you take that new information in through a different brainwave, a different peaceful, calm brainwave, then all of a sudden you can fire and wire new language. Yes, you can connect the dots, and you'd be more of epiphanies. And when you get the epiphanies, you're not in going, oh man, that pisses me off. So you go to the 5 stages of grief. You don't really have to, because you're choosing to discover the information, but you're choosing to keep healing that new information. So oh man, this always on. Heal that belief. Check your beliefs. Measure your beliefs. Is it restrictions? Heal it out. Because when you change that, you're creating a new mindset. You're creating to be conscious. And when you are learning to be more spirit than your ego, you're learning to be your 5% authentic self. And that's what we aim for, okay? You start to use more heart-brain coherence. You get to have less stress. You get to have a different meaning in life. Now, the problem is we like to go back to what's familiar. We are like, because I don't have my baseline of my needs met, therefore I have to keep turning to you, or doing this, or asking questions. And what happens when you do that is that it creates a limitation, but you don't begin to know thyself. And because you don't know yourself, then you will then start to always put your trust in other people, and you will look to the older generation, and you'll start building your intuition based on their experiences, their answers. Now, here's a big problem. You got this? And that, what is this problem? You got to learn to become more your 5%. And so you then rely on, depend on, and believe, and you still accept and still be stressed. You're still in that state. Here's another problem. You're still your limitations and restrictions because you haven't discovered to go inside and find yourself. So if I'm always borrowing, I can't create anything new. And when I began to wake up, yes, I think differently and I will communicate differently. I had someone observe me and my ex standing there. We said the exact same thing, but different ways of coming at it. And all of a sudden he comes up to me, he goes, "You guys are fighting over the same thing." I says, "I'm aware." I said, "He thinks one way, I think one way." I says, "We're both right, we're both wrong, but we can't seem to create the bridge to communicate." And even when I chose to start to communicate his way, then it became more of a narcissistic relationship where I'm always compromising, and that's not what relationships are. So when you start to change those programs, you'll change the relationship with other people. Okay? And so when you start to build that intuition, you can't do it through restrictions and limitations, because then it becomes an ego intuition. Okay? Now, this means that you will start learning things, and then you're going to have people that poo-poo on it, and then you're going to find an enemy. That means you're going to create a filter where somebody's always going to argue with you. And then you're going to go, "They're right, I'm wrong, I got to fight." No. But if you're starting to stay capped and limited, then you're going to start reaching from your from the ego intuition, and you are going to be using that intellectual mind, and you're not going to be able to change your brainwave to get back to heart-brain coherence. So then you can't reach any higher than how you already know. The problem is with that is, again, creates a lot of enemies. So when you're healing, you're actually increasing your abilities, returning back to this healthy spiritual intuition. And as you start to build a spiritual intuition, you'll learn how to lead with your heart. Now that means love, not the brain that's in the heart that's saying, "I'm holding and recording anything that's back to me, and I have to protect myself, and because I'm operating through intuition, I have to avoid, I have to have my insecurities, so it messes with all 6 of the S's. But when you heal, you are going to be able to rise up and pull from your higher self, pull from your 5%, and all of a sudden you're like, "How did I know that?" And you'll start to have a new definition. So the generations that are coming in are having experiences. They're having experiences like, I'm seeing orbs. The older generation, well, that's not even a thing. I don't even know why you believe in that, hocus pocus. No, it is. No, okay, do I need to take you to a doctor? Because, and you're like, "Oh God, there's something wrong with me. Oh God, they're upset. Oh my God, it's my fault. Okay, I didn't mean to say all that. I'm sorry. I will push myself aside and attach myself to you because you're right. Because you don't want to lose love. You don't want to lose safety. You don't want to lose that security. And so you don't know how to trust and believe in yourself. Now here's the thing. They're telling you that you can't do it, but you're already doing it. What, Pink has a song, I think? And the guy that if he believed that, then he would never break the 4-mile mark. I can't remember his name. 4-minute mile. You would always believe the same story, and you would keep passing down the same way you did things. And it comes back to the story of, "Hey, why do you cut the ends off the ham?" "Because my mom did it." "Okay, well, let's go ask her." "Why did you cut off the ends of the ham?" "Because my mom did it." "Oh, well, let's go ask her." "Why did you cut off the ends of your ham?" "Get a bigger pan." We think those are beautiful traditions that we need to keep passing on, and the way we believe, and this and that. But growth is a progress, and it's meant to move forward. And it's gaining these experiences through using of parameters. Okay? But if you're in limitation, you can't see that you're already in that one parameter and you can't move forward. But this is where, when you heal and you change that mindset, you will then all of a sudden begin to hear from a higher perspective. You start pulling in your higher self, and you'll start to live not by just what the heart says, because it's the mindset. The mindset is very much important, because when it's set, it means it can't be moved. But if you change the way that your spirit sees, it means you need a new language. That means you need a new way of being. Okay. But this consciousness and this mindset, you don't even know who you are. Well, first of all, you are pure consciousness. You're the essence of spirit with the soul that's on a recorder here in the journey. And when you have those particular ways of being, the main thing about a blueprint is it's already perfect. It's already love. It's already balance. It's already peace and harmony. And you have to go away from that to find out what love is, because you couldn't appreciate or understand it without finding out what it's not. So now you're creating and you're building a new way of being. But if you are constantly living as your ego and your spirit is thrown off the planet and you don't know how to connect with that, then you are going to keep creating what's called hell on earth. You're going to have excuses, reasonings, limitations, traumas, dramas, and things like this constantly. But when you start healing and changing that frontal lobe, the energy that moves through it, the information, a new information, then all of a sudden, as you heal, especially with success hope therapy, you get to throw that out there, and your spirit, you return to peace, you return to love, and you're like, But you need a set of language. That's why Medicine Woman Soultion has glossary to help you move forward. And it's probably too late now to record, but I will do that.
Recording in progress.
Okay. So we eventually want to reach this. Now, this isn't about giving you information to condemn yourself or any of that. I want you to go, stop. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Hold on. Usually by the age of 30, you start hitting your Saturn's return. So yes, the planet's alignment help you say, got to create independence, start to live as yourself. And this is where you're going to have a lot of people feel like they're yes, that frightened me. To the point that noise had disrupted my thought pattern. A midlife crisis. And then you have all of these people that are going to be yelling and condemning you, and but deep down inside, you're starting to feel this soul's urge that you have to become something more. So if you're already, realizing that you're going to have adversary or contrast of how you believe, and everybody's telling you, no, you can't believe that, you're stupid, you need to not do this, and they all want to control the situation, and you're, with the way they talk, either as patronizing or condescending, however it goes, and you start healing the mind, the way the energy flows, you start healing your heart. And when you start to do that, all of a sudden, you have to start building the new filing cabinet. That means that you keep healing out. You have to heal alongside of it. You have to, because this is the healer's journey, not the hero's journey where you have to have an enemy, but the healer's healing journey, the healer's journey. Because you are going to go, I have, what do I got to heal? Energy loss, the lack of love, all these negative things that happen. You get a chance to go, hold on, with a different mindset, with your soul's urge that you want your life force back. So you have an Akashic record that's open. It's unresolved, continued story. And it has shaped you to be who you are. But if you allow yourself to take in and change the filing cabinet, so you have to heal out what? You have to heal out the old hoarding filing cabinet. And then you have to take and reclaim your life force. So you want to get your life force back off of those things that happened years ago, but holy shit, they feel fresh. But when you shift and learn how to dissolve the emotional chemical peptide on your stories, you get to rise higher, and then your mindset goes, oh my gosh. And it starts making these connections. So when you are healing and the emotion is stuck on a memory, then you're constantly repeating. But when you take and dissolve the chemical peptide on it, all of a sudden the memory becomes a memory, and you can recall it anytime you want, but when you do, it doesn't have to own you. Now here we'll drop the wisdom. You put that in that special place where all wisdom goes, and now you're like, I'm going to feed my brain new healthy information. What's that mean? Am I going to go back and keep listening to the naysayers, the people that have hate, or that everything is that everything is just, No, I'm going to change and overhaul my lifestyle. I'm going to learn why those things are happening. If I want to change something. Now, if I want to hold on to, let's say, eating bad food, here could be the problem. That's your safety blanket. Go through the back door. Why is the urge there? Why am I following just the program? So when you're healing these programs. You're healing because if you are your programs, you can't be your 5%. So you're changing your lifestyle. To the point is that, okay, I had woke up and I'm learning all of these different ways of being. And as time went on, I ended up saying, okay, my body is dying. I'm mentally, emotionally, spiritually good, but my body is dying. And I had to leave Michigan. And I came here to Australia and I have a whole new environment. Now, I didn't just go and run. I healed my shit. I healed. When I did, it made the passageway here open, saying it's time. I didn't force it. I used divine timing, and I changed my divine matrix. I was told that, I have spinal trouble, I have hip issues, I have a pelvic tilt, I've got a right hips up and out, I've got a scoliosis, I've got all of these things wrong with me. And so it's like, no, okay? My husband that I have right now is basically my energizer bunny energy. I had other relationships in the past where it is closed off, or they're a sloth, or they're pain. But this here is that he's more physical and I'm more spiritual. So we start to complement one another in such a unique way. And what happened was Spirit says, okay, go to a naturopath, start talking to Dr. Pete, and he's giving me how my body is functioning. And it's like it's been a roller coaster, and I changed my lifestyle completely. I don't have white sugar, brown sugar. I don't have wheat or white flours. I don't even have milk. And I've learned how to cook differently. I've learned about spices. I've done all these things, but I've also included walking. I can walk up to 12K, and I can exercise every day. So I'm making a routine where I'm doing something very specific, not for very long, but it is to work just on the core. And just little things here and there. I'm also learning and reading and studying, feeding my brain, learning to appreciate and love. I'm doing heart-brain coherence. I'm still practicing that, and I'm meditating at a different level. Okay? But I'm not judging myself. I'm using discernment. As I began to use discernment, then I can forgive myself. I don't have to go, oh my God, compare it to and expect this. And no, that's old. That's the old 3D world. We are on a healer's journey. You with me so far? So I'm changing information. I'm listening to my spirit. I'm listening to my heart. And I'm not letting the outside to control me. It did, but every time I'd heal and every time I processed, I started to create a healthier aura, a healthier orb, healthier boundaries. And as I did that, people would come up to me, oh, you've changed. And I'm like, oh, it's working. Whereas my old me and my ego mindset would have gone, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I'm sorry. Let me go and take myself and let me destroy myself to make you happy because I can't let you down. Because as I grew up in a certain energy field, it was like, oh my God, it's my fault. But I've learned how to trust myself. And I didn't have to fight to do this. I healed, and it just became a natural benefit. And I can't tell you how freeing that is. So I went to the chiropractor. Spirit says, I need you to find a good one. So I found a new one. And he took x-rays and he goes, well, you can scratch scoliosis off your list. I says, what? He says, your hips are great. Now, I have been doing belly dancing, doing my best to do the splits, and I'm not forcing it because you don't want to create an injury. And all of my efforts, my hips are straight. I'm like, what? And now I can work on my upper chest and spine and my neck. He says, you just have a curvature issue and we're going to just help you in any way we can, and with how much time you put into it and how much time I help you do, together we can make a big difference. And he says, hope for miracles. And I'm like, oh my God, I found you. The way you speak, he says, I'm just like, yes, this is the way I believe. And so I have found a wonderful chiropractor that's going to, I did it. I went to the eye doctor yesterday and she said, oh, your eyes are good. You just, all's good. And I'm like, okay, cool. The lady comes in to get my stuff to take me to the next room. And she goes, well, she had a slight improvement in both eyes. And I, whoa, wait, what? And she goes, well, it's nothing really, but yes, a slight improvement. That means you can't go based on old record. And to me, it's like, yeah, that's a win. Because I was told from the particular eye doctor that, well, you can't heal your eyes. And I'm like, I don't believe that. This is twice I've done it. Small increments, but I'm doing it. I'm holding that as a win. So there is other little things that my body is saying I'm moving in the right direction. And I'm like, I love it. I would love to be able to take my next step, which is to get the cortisol, which my body is screaming, saying it's doing something. I'll get there. I'll find the answer. I know it, because I have that faith. I have that trust. It isn't taking and looking and saying, God, why'd you do this? I don't even do that. I say, okay, why I've got this here? Okay, I want to heal out that belief. I want to transform that limitation. And I expect miracles. I really do. I live in an expectancy, but I know I'm going to have this or better. So Kelly says, went back to visit my little, good, and we had many talks. After a while, I asked if she wanted to leave to help get rid of the painful place that she was living in, and she said yes. Oh, wonderful. And now she is here with me in this time. Oh my God, that's awesome. Oh my gosh, Kelly, that's great. She's healing and protects by me that she didn't feel when she was little. Yes, we have to be that parent we need. We have to just be that part that holds our space for ourselves, learning how to hold and love ourselves like we didn't get before. And it's not about blaming. It's about, why couldn't we have, let it come in? Because we needed to find the parameters. I feel so much more confident and content more than ever before. Yes, that is the byproduct and the benefits of when you step up and step in and choose to really help heal that part of yourself. And that, so I love it. Good job. Love the witnessing. Moderators, take a picture of that for me and send it to me. I really would appreciate that. So when you have, in this case, your intuition, your new knowledge, you're not the old generation, and you're like, oh, how do I know? I know. But if you're in fear and you go and you talk about to the old generation, they're going to discourage you, poo-poo on it, or people but you have to turn and say, okay, thank you, Spirit, where can I go? And maybe I'll appear. People like me that have pulled in what we're supposed to pull in that generation, or however you do it. And so, but we keep going back to the same old people because I love you, you're family, you're this, you're that, and I'm supposed to follow you because that's the way things used to be, tradition. And when you finally realize, I love me, I'm going to put that oxygen on me, and I'm going to have self-care for me, then you are going to allow yourself to move into a new position. And when you keep healing and changing that frontal lobe and balancing your heart brain, all of a sudden confidence comes out of nowhere. Why do you think I keep asking people that have dedicated themselves every day, and when they come on my show, where have they been and where they are now? That's the only way you should compare, is that who are you now? Not to condemn yourself, because if you are, you're in the wrong mindset. We want to heal that. Okay. So it is about you learning how to show up for you, learning how to be your spiritual self in your frontal lobe, how to listen to your heart, how to create new intuition. So when you are like, someone says, okay, are orbs safe? Blinking orbs, are they bad? No, I want you to tune in through your heart. Okay, when you've been healing, and you know that you're better than you were before. New information has created you not to go into fear and create fear on earth. And you start to listen with your heart, and all of a sudden, if you get peace and love from it, put that in your filing cabinet. But if you are operating with fear and you're like, oh my God, I have to be scared shitless, then your soul's asking you to stop. You're out of sync with your higher self and in your heart, and to go heal. And when you do that, all of a sudden you are going to raise your frequency inside in your vibration to match the alignment of love, which then you'll start to have a new timeline and a new way of seeing something, so that those blinking lights have nothing to do with fear or evil or enemy. Because your intuition is like, no, I already know what this is, and I already feel I know who it's from. And because the new knowledge is that we were told that there was really no life after death, or that you go to oblivion, but that was somebody else's, or you go to hell because you swore. That's somebody else's. Go read the book of The Afterlife of Billy Fingers. I really find that book fascinating. But when you start to know how you know with great love, you're using discernment. You're starting to use the spirit part of your brain. You start to make a big difference in your world. You start to believe in yourself. Again, any fear comes up, you stop. You're out of sync with yourself. Go heal and change your timeline to be more in alignment with love. And when you start to build that filing cabinet, okay, if I see that, that means this. And if I see that, that means this. And if I see rainbows, that's my mother. And if I smell hairspray, that's my mother. Or I smell bread, that's my grandma. I hear a guitar string, that's my brother. You learn to do the associations, but you're creating a whole new language, and it creates the bridge to the other side. It creates the bridge to communicate with your authentic self. And the more you start to shift into your authentic self and your 5%, the more you have confidence, and other people, you won't care what they think, because you're starting to live your purpose, holding the energy of light, and you're starting to increase life vitality on a spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical world. Do I have any questions? Because every time we start to investigate and get closer to what it is that we want to do, does your fear come in? Does fear interpret? Does your ego and fear interpret what your heart's trying to say, or what this is? But what was the main thing we did? That when our spirit was thrown off the planet and our ego is in our frontal lobe and we are still operated by those things, then when you start to stop and heal and bring the blood back up, and you learn to put in new information, and you learn to take things with a grain of salt, because not everybody out here is authentic, and everybody is authentic to their level of information. So imagine that, so you have kindergartners and graduate schools, but we think of little children and adults. But if you think that they're all operating through one avatar, one age, understand, is their level of knowledge coming from preschool or is it coming from great experiences? Okay. But if somebody has a great experience, does that mean it has to be your great experience? So I was seeing this doctor for my family because one part of my family members loves this doctor. And as we took him in, and then I was getting chewed out by this doctor because I wasn't taking him to church. And I'm like, wait, what? We're here because I think something's broken. He disregarded. Now, I did not like him, but I wasn't going to go out and badmouth him and gossip. This is what I had to experience because I had to that was to detour me to take him to a different place. Because other people love him. But I was not supposed to be aligned with this person because it meant that I'm supposed to take him somewhere else. But I don't have to keep doing how people do, which is gossip, to destroy and to hurt. And I'm going to convince you to have the same experience I had so we can. No, we don't have to do that. That is like war. I don't need to play in the negativity. I don't need to do that. Keep pulling back. Clearly, love, unity, different, mindset, and present, and everything switches. Yes, and you have to forgive yourself by going in and out. You are going to, because this is the era where you're taking old information and you start realizing, well, I don't need to believe this. Like when I had healed enough, and Spirit says, okay, now it's time to go start to correct this more and more in your spine. I had this voice over here that says you can't correct your C or the spine once you start having, scoliosis is your label. And then I would have healers that have healed to the energy and moved it, and you can get over scoliosis. So I have these two opposing things. And then it's like, did I have a belief that said, oh, I can't do this? It was like, but then I would bump into people that would be like, okay, we can only tell you bad news. We can't really tell you any good news. And I finally realized, wait a minute, because I went and visited this one and I was excited, and then they didn't like me. And I'm like, okay, that is telling me I need to go somewhere else. So it took a while, and then Spirit kept showing me the new chiropractor on, ads and things like this. I'm like, nah, it's right around the corner. Oh, that's convenient. And then I finally is like, go. So I did. And Spirit has been showing me left, right, front, and center how every little thing that I did started to show up as a healthier longevity thing. He's like, well, why do you have to hold that belief that you can't? And I says, exactly. I manifested this chiro to be in my space. And not only did I do that, but I have also pulled in two other very specific alternative healing aspects, if you want to call it, about the spine. And I'm going to go experience those for myself so I can go, yeah. And I feel it's time. So I'm using my intuition, not in a hoping. No, that's ego. I'm being guided. Like the day that happened was that I said, thank you, Spirit. My old pattern was, oh, I can never have it today. It never works out. And then, always discouraged, because I've been healing discouragement hearing, patronizing hearing. As I was healing all of those different levels, all of a sudden I got done with the show. I ran out and I said to my husband, I have to follow this energy like you do. I think I finally am getting this, but I'm trusting. My ego is like, oh, no. I'm like, shut up, ego, tap, 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 or hold my hand or whatever. I went down and I was like, oh, I'm supposed to park in the back. Okay. And then I have to walk through this alleyway. Now, I'm still not sure why I'm at this little plaza, this little center. And all of a sudden it's like, go over to the haircut place. And I had a bad experience from that place before. And I'm like, all right. And so I didn't do the judgment. I says, thank you, Spirit. And I didn't have expectant. I had expectancy. I walked in. I said, Spirit, what am I supposed to say? I don't know if you do walk-ins. And she says, well, what do you need? And I said, I just need my bangs cut. And and framed. Oh, well, yeah. And then I've always had to pay $50 or so. She says, oh, yep, I can get you in an hour if you don't mind waiting, and it's $25. I got it today. I got it at a good price. Wait, what? Okay. And I did. And I got to treat myself out to eat while I was waiting. And I got to have that alone time with myself. And it was just beautiful because I didn't try to control it, restrict it. I lived in the flow of love. And I lived in the flow of my new intuition. And I allowed myself to understand divine timing. Right. You can live in too many timelines. Here's the problem. If you have trajectory timelines, 10 of them, like different choices all at once, you're going to be scattered because part of you on a soul level and go, I got to figure out this answer, I got to figure out this, oh, I got to. But if you can't bring that in and go, okay, let's eliminate what I really don't want. That. Oh, it left me down to 2. Okay, what's the difference of these 2? Now, I've learned when I'm going to go eat something, it's like, oh, I really want this. Wait, is it true? All right, what? Yeah. Oh no, I want this. Or I'll go shopping. What feels right for me? I don't go live out here anymore. I live in here, and I live with this new intuition. So I close down many timelines. And when you're healing, choosing to stop, I'm out of sync. I'm going to go heal. I go and I find out what timelines of the past are telling me that I have to have this constant future. And so I will go, okay, I'm going to go and heal this. And I will heal out the content, the words, and by changing the emotional chemical peptide, which then changes the words, because it's shifting my brain, it's shifting the way my body is. And then all of a sudden, I live in a different timeline. And now I teach my students to always get into the fixed state of mind, bring yourself back to center, balance your brain so that you're not out of sorts. And there's a couple other things. And what will happen is that you can live in bliss and happiness and joy. And if somebody's going to come in and poo-poo, you can go, as long as you're not losing power and morphing into what they expect. And you're like, oh, well, and when people come in my space, I go, how am I supposed to show up to this? Because I'm not being influenced anymore. I am more me. And when I'm more that 5%, I just sit here and I witness. If my ego goes, oh my God, that's going to really waste my day, then I'm not really being my 5%. I'm being a program. And that means I've gone down to my first, second, third chakra, and I have to go and get the data of how I know this and how I hate this. And I'm like, no, I want to live in love. So I heal this out. Again, learning to always know how to return back to being the center. Okay, that's being getting back to the center of self. And it is from the higher self that I choose to be in. But it's all about knowing how I show up consciously and which mindsets, who and what is interpreting the outside. And hopefully you guys can have learned something and because all I know is that you got to start building and trusting, and you can't do that unless you start healing out that you have to turn to other people because they're smarter. No. You can ask Spirit to just bring knowledge and things like that into your space. And so that you can be a much more happier person, if that makes sense. Alrighty. Love the fact that people have come in and communicated with me. This is awesome. We're going to have a great rest of the show. So stick around. Sometimes people's stories and healings can be, hey, that's my story. Hey, I can use that healing. Yes, and yes. So we learn to help walk each other home. We learn how to show up and do many things. Now, before I go into the next thing, I got to open this, but I got to change that curtain there. So that means, rearranging just a few little things to make it happen, because the lighting in here all of a sudden sucks based on the fact I'm not over there. Now I have Charlie and V. Hi Charlie, hi V, how are you? Are you good little bobbies? Are you being a good little bubby? Of course. How about if we give you a little snackaroo, okay? Mama's got a few snacks to put in here. Would you like that? A few snacks? Yeah, go ahead. Eat up. Yum, yum, yum. Good job, Sky. She is a Corella, and he is a yellow sulfur-crested cockatoo. And they've been really good and quiet. So you're just like, oh, you're being little good puppies. So we do have 3 piffs up, and that is because Amy has said, hey, I want to do my thing. So she's routinely said, I'm going to come on to the show and I'm going to give 3 piffs. And we like that. It helps out in so many different ways, including herself. So there's just more, it's more than just one thing, more than one thing. We also have a chat and we have little minis. So let's see what else we have. And that we have April 12, a chat for me, my left knee. Okay, what does Spirit want? So we have April Lynn in the chat. Okay, so Miss April Lynn, are you here? And I'll put down Angela Stokes, and hopefully if we have more or less, that's up to you. And, you know, if we get more than 3 people, we'll play the duck race. If not, we can go in a different direction. All right, we're apparently having issues with the 1, so we're going to end that live and restart it. Okay. Crystal, is that your hand up saying that, you know, you would like mine? Put her name, Crystal. I got Crystal's name down. Hi, Luke. How are you? Yeah, I'm restarting it. Yes. Yep. There is April Lynn. There she is. Now she's having left knee issues. Now the one thing is that when your body begins to have physical traumas, physical things that happen, then it takes time to heal. So what I learned over here, it should be like 6 weeks for my broken fingers to heal. And it took 6 months. The doctor was like, what? And then I found out that I had to start repairing the potential hydrogen foundation in my body so that it could heal quicker. Okay. So as we start to age, it's more, sometimes we have to start adding little things. So like fulvic acid started to help me to, what do you want to call it? Help me absorb the nutrients that my body had then said, no, you can't. I've added, and it also, it is not about calcium. It's more than that. So the fulvic acid has helped me to repair, but I had to also put estrogen back into my body to help my spine and my bones so that my body can start feeling youthful instead of feeling we have to get old and decay. And I don't have that belief. I just don't have that belief. So let's find out a little bit about your story. You go to, now again, this is for entertainment purposes only, and you know, go see a physician and whoever else that you feel is supposed to help you on your journey. So as I look at her left knee, I'm looking that there is a mental process towards the self. So these, sometimes we don't realize we're thinking these things towards ourselves. I said, is it more of a negative thing? They go, no, it's more of a belief that you're deficient in something. And I said, is the words I can't? It's more of a frequency thing. I said, okay, give me information. They said, all right. Disdain is a big word, and if disdain is there, then it's hysterical. So disdain is hysterical. And I said, all right, so if I look inside the heart says, I have to hold this disdain of the experience of what somebody threw, and it's in my heart, which then I have to protect myself. I said, okay. And so with that, I am holding the hysterical energy that I responded to. Okay, so that would explain something here. In this case, the mental, which we know is words. So is this like, yes, all right, so this is, okay, your heart is electrical, and it sends electrical currents to all of the rest of the organs, okay? And as I look at this electrical aspect, the heart is saying that it's part of a quota identity, it's part of how you have memorized yourself, that there is this learned lie. So there is a lie that you had. It made sense at 5 years old, but it doesn't make sense at the age you are now. And this means that you had to preserve, you had to do a self preservation. So something scary. So the 5 year old learned that she feels deficient at putting up with people that have that energy of contempt. So she feels deficient. So that's the first part of the lie. It was real at the time, but it is not now. And then all of a sudden, it's like, I now moved into deficient. So as you age, you move into, you feel deficient or indifference to what it is. But the body is still saying they threw hysterical energy. And that is how I've memorized, and I was trying to solve it, figure out at 5 years old what this was. And they said the energy of contempt was thrown at you. Now, oh, hold on, I gotta figure out this issue here. And it's every time you start to be bold, it'll feel like in a belief system that you can't climb, you can't get there, you can't change direction, you can't, you have to, you're the one that has to yield, you're the one that has to get on knees, you're the one. And it's like you haven't learned how to step into the new part of yourself. So the mental aspect is, I have to, I'm, how do you put this? You felt startled the way that people treated you. So in a way, your heart has this frightful overjoyed when you were little. And at the same time, you are in a different space. So how do I explain this? This is a tricky one, Missy. This is a tricky one. Okay. My heart, like I'll be watching TV and it'll be something sad. Now, I'm watching Grey's Anatomy again and the people are dying. I'm not crying, but it's when they receive good news. All of a sudden, I will just burst into crying. And I mean, my throat starts to choke up, and I'm like, "Oh, it's so beautiful." And I'm like, "Well, why would you need to heal that?" And I noticed it's every time good news comes. And then when I started to do spiritual investigate, it was around 9 years old. Well, that's when my brother got in a car accident, and it was on uh, just the day before. Okay, on my birthday, he got in a car accident. The next day, he died. But I was swooped away. So in the middle of the night, there was this chaos. I got swooped away, taken to somebody's house, and then they were like, "Everything's gonna be all right." Everything. So they were saying all these nice things. But their energy said something completely different. That is what I took in. And then when I found out that there was no good news, my heart was crushed. It's like, this is so beautiful. I wish that it could have happened, but I would never hear those words. Would have happened for my brother, but I'd never hear those words. But so I kind of yearn for it, but I also feel like, what about me? I didn't get to see it. Now, this is a journey where you have to really understand that your heart is saying there's something there. So don't rush it. What you need to do is there's a part of you that has to understand, do you keep getting people in your space that talk constantly of discouraging, whether they're discouraging themselves or discouraging you? Because this is about hearing. And when you hear, whether with your ears or your heart, the frequency is not true, then what happens is that there's an energy pull. You see that, baby bird? And that energy pull begins to influence the way that your electrical part of yourself, so that part of the brain in your heart is saying, don't, just the word don't. When I'm hearing as the adult is that you kind of have to expect this. And so you learn to talk to yourself into understanding that this is what's going to happen each time, and that this is how you're going to respond, and that everything's going to be okay. Now, your little self is saying that towards myself, I've always had to blame that it's my fault. I always had to change who I was because somehow I believed it was my fault. And I'm like, is that what we want to heal? Is that you feel like it's your fault? And they go, yes. And the heart is saying, in some regards, I can't be confident. But at the same time, is that I don't want to be confident of what they're asking me to do because I'm aware that it's not me. Did you get that last part? So as you're beginning to find more of you, you have to undo what you've been sculpted to be. So when people come to you and they have this way of communicating with you and like directing you. So let's say you want to buy something and you know that you want to do certain things. And they're like, oh, well, is that all? I thought you said you weren't, or whatever. There'll be key words and there'll be key things that will, it's about directing, it's about controlling, it's about getting you to change your mind. There's a slight way that if it for that, whoever it is, that they will speak to make you all of a sudden, okay, in a very cooperative manner, but really they still have the pen. Your body is saying, hold up, I don't want this. So the mental, there's a lie that you're still doing, thinking that you have to, toward yourself, to not see it. You got forced to 7777. And that you are not even realizing that you have to be deficient and ask the outside to give the guidance, even though you know deep down inside that you don't have to. My throat, my choice, it's like it's scratchy and it's like, oh my God, I can't. So there's a lie that still seems to be in your space. So what you're going to start doing is you're going to really start listening to that heart. And I want you to pay attention if your body is saying, don't listen to your intuition, don't be positive, don't do this in front of them, don't do the idea you want. I have to change my direction to suit them. It's very subtle, and it's that sclera field where we got to change how we need to have them say this so we show up this way. We want to say, no, we want to change the way we show up. So we're going to have to catch what they're saying, not because they're an enemy. It's because I want to see the button they're pushing. And then you're going to heal the button. Now, if you begin to see the way that they're speaking, like if they talk to you in panic terms, and the way that they need the answer, or they'll may go ape shit or however, I want you to begin to start seeing it, because you're meant to give away your power just enough, or feel helpless that things can't change. So pay attention to the content of when you're like, well, I can't do it. Just, or I don't want to do that. Just say, thank you, Spirit, with grace and ease. Help me here. Feel that gem that it's happening. And learn to have the spiritual eyes to see, hear, feel, and know. Because it really does affect you on the proprioception, the way that your body is feeling when you're in that space. And you may have to go, okay, I'm feeling this, and that might be what you need to heal, okay? All right. Hopefully we didn't lose that connection. All right, if you're new here, then you get a free reading. If you've been here before, then, you can put your name down for a drawing or a PIF, a pay it forward. We got 3 names so far, if there's anybody else. Was it Aisha? Have I ever read you before? Did it make sense, April? Did I explain it? Do I need to explain something else? Are you getting it? Because again, if you're not used to it, then you just say thank you, Spirit, and don't think about it. Just put it up on the shelf and let Spirit begin to notice when somebody is like going to change their mind, and you're like, oh, hold on, 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, look, see, I knew they were going to behave that way. Kind of learn how to look at it differently. Yeah, I have you down. Yep. All right, I'm just going to call you Aisha. So what I do is I look at the energy field of what your soul wants you to address, heal, or how is your life turning out. And so here we go. Are you ready? One of the things is there seems to be habitual fear that other people have that puts in front of you that all of a sudden you think you have to have the same fear. They will say certain things, walk around really agitated, but you won't realize that you are having a communication that is all of a sudden, it warps you into going, oh my God, you got to start talking and feeling this way. And I feel like when they leave or not in your space, you start to return back to normal, and yet you feel not quite yourself. Does that make sense? Because what I'm hearing is that there's a part of you that I've got to communicate this way because I don't want my heart crushed. So that person, it sounds like what they're saying is true and real and their fear is legit, but you in your heart knows that doesn't have to be your fear. Because the part of you that's agreeing is because you don't want to let people down or disrupt, because you don't want your heart to be crushed. Does that make sense? You with me? Because if you are, then you will understand when I tell you that you're ready to heal out some insecurities and things where you have a phobia that, if you say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, then they're going to explode, or because there's a slight phobia, like, okay, I can't upset the apple cart. I can't, and if you're ready to heal how you see them and understand this, and you can measure it, I want you to take your right wrist and you're going to find the 3rd position. Okay. And hold on. Yeah, 3rd position. And then you're going to push in nice and deep and put your finger in your palm. So that's 1, 2, 3 positions. Push your thumb in deep. So it's R3D. Finger in palm, create the letter C. Safety, security, stability. This won't work unless you put your hand like this and let your fingers drop. And then you're going to breathe in and you're going to say, this is my story. And how does it resonate with you on a scale from 0 to 10, 10 being the most? You sit there for 10 or 15 minutes and feel. Don't intellectualize and say, oh, it's because of this. No, just go, this is how I know my life. Heal that out. And what will happen is that you're healing yourself, and you start to look, and after 15 minutes you're like, oh, it's like a 6. Good job. Get back in there, get it to 0. You are worth getting that to take care of. It's another form of self-care. Now, April Lynn, did I tell you L1D? I hope I did. Yes, understanding healing my ego wants to solve it now. Yeah, I know, like I have this injury that I've got, but I also know that time is necessary. Like, there's a part of your knee is saying, I don't really want to be around certain energy fields anymore, or certain way people think. And so the body is kind of like taking you out to some degree. It's like, why do I have to hurt myself? Sometimes it's a form of punishment. Okay, sometimes it's a form of punishment. Now, you can always watch this reading again. I have it on Facebook and YouTube, but in Facebook, it's a timestamped. On YouTube, it is not. So you look for Medicine Woman Soultion. That's Soultion, and that's how you will find it. Okay, hi, Nikki. How are you? Nikki? Good to see. I've been on the go all morning, and I haven't got to listen to your or see what you wrote. I think you wrote me. Got a bit of good news. I was excited because I went to see a new chiropractor, totally in line with him. He has the same kind of thinking I do, and I am no longer labeled and scoliosis. I don't even have to say those words anymore. That's not who I am. I'm not denying it. My hips are even. I just have a curvature issue at the top, and we're going to be working on that together. And that to me was super exciting because it has said all the work I've been doing on my hips from doing my best to do the splits and belly dancing has made a difference. Hi, Jennifer. Would love a pit. Okay, well, I'll put your name down. We might end up doing the duck race today. Where's my thing? So I will put down Miss Jennifer Osika. So let's get your reading on, okay? Whatever spirit wants. You got it. You got it. Somebody's around you. Woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. And this energy is really strong. If you can, and I know as a tribal healer, you're going to feel it. Oh, yeah, I can feel when it's woe is me. And it's like this is their communication tool to learn how to take care of themselves. But why they bring it up is because there's a part of you that so when they use the word vivid dreaming, it could be the fact is that you slept and you were vividly dreaming. But it also is in a daydream where all of a sudden you can be aligned up to seeing it again. And you're like, it's not deja vu, but it's very vividly in a state where it exaggerates how the person is being. So you can kind of see more of let's say they glow, not in a healthy way, but they're like, oh, that's it. So in this case, they're saying that it's time for your body, and the emotional part to release how you were so manipulated in the past. So you're getting ready just to really break up this conditioning. Good job. They said the lofty sweetness. It's like when they patronize, okay? Oh, she understands, thank God. Okay, so it's like, but you'll recognize it because it's like their crap of woe is me triggers you to feel woe is me. And then you're like, I got to do this, I got to do that. And you've been changing that. And now you can really go, oh, this woe is me. And I will tell you to start using R3S. Because immediately it's going to go into blaming. The energy don't lie. And immediately it's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Now you have passed a big test, but let's take this out now because they said it's tied to the emotional and the physical. Because this moment of people broadcasting, it doesn't matter if they're in front of you through a text, whatever. It's like, how hard do they throw this? I can feel the truth now. Good. So, but it's how they can get more out of you. How they can, because when the person will use their tricks and they get it from people, and when they meet somebody that they can't get it from, it's going to seem to be amped and ramped, and they're going to get louder and louder, and you're like, what the F? Because that is not working on you, and therefore they're going to find the right button. And so this is where one behavior is going to try to change the other behavior to get what they want, because they have a what do I call that? I know you know what I'm talking about. Their focus is, what is it I call it? People, I can't remember. It is where they are constantly looking to get that result they want. I can't remember what it's called. I first noticed it in kids. What is it? They have oh good Lord, anybody remember what I call it? But it's, they have a particular outcome. And they want reactive abuse. Ooh, oh, interesting. Yeah. Yes. That's a very good. Do you want to know why? Because when a person comes in and their mindset is in a negative state, they come in with this reactive abuse energy because they don't know how to cope, handle, and deal any other way but that. They want to be the victim. Yeah, because it was giving them something. But I also feel like when you have those reactive abusers, it's also separate from a person that's trying to get some. That is the only way they know how to co-handle and deal. I feel like this person is saying, I'm not getting the results that I expected, and so I'm going to keep pushing to get the results because I know not to give up. Yeah, change your behavior before you change mine. Yeah, exactly. That's another way. But that particular outcome, and you're like, But I feel like that reactive abuse is, I don't think I think she knows how to cope, handle, and deal because I feel like it's more of a manipulation because it's like, I didn't get my result I wanted. So I feel like you're supposed to be a stand-in for her mother. Or poke me and poke you so you get poked back. Exactly. Yes, you totally understand. So start with the R3S, and then it's going to move into the physical. So then we're going to look at alarms. I said spine or alarm. They said alarm. So in this case, I'm going to check to see where it is at. Okay. It's in the PC reproductive system. So you're going to put your hand down there, on the belly part, just above the hairline of where your underwear would fall, and on top of the pubic bone. Okay, just above it. And then you're going to take and remember to do your tapping. Okay, and then here, and you're going to go with that a couple rounds, and then there is another. Yes. Okay, so I'll look at it again, and this is the government or the central. So then after you've done the PC reproductive, then you're going to hold here, and then of course you're going to breathe in and start pulling it out of the body. Good job. Good job. As soon as you felt you did SP, yes, because that is a fast thing to help you say, nope, I'm not engaging, not playing, I'm done. Very good, very good. Let's see. Anything else? She's hoping to play upon one of the successes, which means there's a deficiency somewhere. So she's poking around till she finds it. And I said safety, security, stability, sanity. It's about your sanity. It's about sanity. So they're hoping that they can push you enough to make you feel insane, so then that part of the behavior will change. Which is also a clue and insight alone about how your family did it to you, or has done it, or still. But you get to break that pattern. I don't know why I'm holding my breath and talking at the same time. That was weird. All right, so we have Jen Osika, Angela Morgan, and Crystal. Anybody else want their name in the PIF? Because then if we do, then I can start doing a duck race. How's that for you? SP is amazing. Thank you. How fast of a turnaround time? Because you felt it coming, right? And you didn't fall for it or get manipulated. You're like, oh, I see this. And then you did some SP so your brain wouldn't have to follow along. Did you have a fast turnaround time? Because I think it's funny when people start to manipulate in and you start doing SP on yourself, and all of a sudden they can't figure out how to follow the chain. And you're like, Yeah, Spirit has me on a quest. Oh, with the limbic brain, they are just my gift from Spirit to learn. Exactly, because it is a gift. And that's why I said it's like, oh my God, it could be one hell of a day. But to me, it's like, oh my God, there is so many. It was a good day. Because you don't have to go in that. Immediately charged, I'll change them off my brain. I'll turn my brain off and went into balance. Good. See, and that's the thing. When you start to really become that 5%, you learn to miss yourself. I miss who I am. And so once I know that I'm not my 5%, it's like, get me back. And then I know how to get myself back. Yep, we're gonna go for duck race. I'll put Tamara's name down. Like I said, if you're new here, then you get a free reading. If not, then put your name in the drawing and we'll play the duck race. So I have a few names I'm gonna start putting in, and we'll start our duck race. Okay. Oh, okay, Sarah. Oh, what did I do with my pencil? Sarah. I gotta remember. Yeah, the only one's here. Okay. Checking. We're very good. Let me open the duck race up and get that going. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that hand heart. Let's see. We have to, we're going to go 20 seconds. That's always a good number. And then I got to put the names in and get to edit the list. We have Jeno. We have Sarah. We have Angela. We have Crystal. I don't know why I'm looking because I got them in my mind. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 1, 2 more again. We have Jeno, Angela, Morgan, Crystal, Tamara, Sarah. And that, I think, is good. We're going to do the duck race again. If you have never had a reading from me before, you get a free one. What kind of readings do you do? Well, let's see. Soul readings. It's your soul tells me what it is that you're repeating in the past that creates your future, and that you can use healing tools to heal it out. If there is a particular pattern that you're doing and you don't know you're doing, then a little insight could help. But again, it's about healing it out. And I will give you a free reading. Let me just do this. Let me do this right now, and then I'll do the duck race. So we are looking at. Hold on. Reading. Okay, Kimberly. So Kimberly, you ready? So what just happened here? I have no idea. Okay, that was bizarre. Very bizarre. All right, Kimberly, what the Spirit wants you to understand is there's a certain lie that you began to learn around 7 years old. And what happened is that it was like it was to push you to take action. So people would talk and speak to you in a very certain condescending way, or they would do it in a very manipulative way, very discouraging way, however they choose to do it. But what happened is that they made you feel like you were helpless, and that they, hey, let me do it. Hey, let's do this. Oh, but you can do this. You can go out and get me this. And so it becomes this relationship issue. So the energies that come together, and when the energies that come together, it is that you're supposed to remain small as they start to have this inferiority complex, and then they will have you act like they want to be superior. So it becomes really kind of messy. Now what happens is you don't realize it's happening, but there will be a blaming of energy going on. And one of the things that happens, it goes directly to the heart. Now, how does this affect you? It goes right up to the fact that you feel like you're helpless and you didn't even know it. You start believing in that, and the next thing you know, you are emotionally repressed what you were just thinking and feeling in your confidence of who you are. And then now you have just fell for love is a weapon. You with me so far? So, Kimberly, you can't help, but there's a feeling of an impending, something's coming, something, it's impending. So it's not love, it's impending. And you said, I am. Does that mean yes? Because what I'm hearing is that your heart says, don't, without realizing. I feel like you have a shutdown that happens on a physical level, and I don't even know if you're aware of it. Because I put my heart out there, I'm doing all this, and it's like, so that inner child is saying, I need to be healed. The mask that you have to put on is that, and then later on, you had to become stronger. But the little in you is saying, I need help. I need to learn how to see when people are discouraging me from what I want, and how they're telling me they love me and they're concerned about me. But as long as I do what they want and they're happy, then it's right. For them, maybe. But I want you to begin to heal your heart, because the brain in your heart is saying, so what that means is I want you to take and use the healing tool, because I want you to learn that you can be more confident without getting your heart crushed. I want you to be confident. And even if they get their heart crushed, it's okay, because you're not being stubborn. You are learning to self-care. You're learning to love yourself. And if they don't like it, they are the ones that needs to go get a healing tool, because they need to learn to self-regulate. And I think they're just going to get pissed because they can't control you. So left wrist, first position. Now, yes, figure out you have a left hand underneath your thumb at the wrist. Okay, it's not on the side, it's right there. This is where you place your thumb. You're going to push in deep. So it's L1D, finger and palm, create the letter C. Safety, security, stability. This doesn't work unless you put the heel of the palm on the forehead and drop your fingers. But you're going to sit there. Give yourself about 10-15 minutes about how you know your story. How do you know you know? What is the emotion? And it's less than love, then, oh, it feels like a strong 8. Oh, Jesus. And you're going to sit there, and you're going to sit there, and you're going to sit there. And then you're going to hold it. And what will happen after 10-15 minutes, you go and you recheck, and then your body says, how you know it's a 6. That means you're healing. Good job. You're doing it all yourself. Go back. You deserve this. Get it to 0. And when all of a sudden it changes, your blood is going to change in your brain. You're going to start to feel more calm. You're going to start having benefits. And then you're going to start noticing. And if you say, thank you, Spirit, for showing me when this is happening, that means then you're like, oh, there's the program. Now, if you're hurt, go and start working back on your heart, because you're not meant to lose power and have to agree and give your willpower and accept that that's what, no, that's what the healing's for. Then all of a sudden you're going to go, yeah, that ain't going to work. See my boundary? And then you're hearing, and you'll get stronger and stronger, and your aura will get stronger and stronger. And yeah, most people don't like that. But that's okay. They have to figure out how to self-regulate themselves. Does that make any sense to you? All right, who else did I say? Oh, Nicole. I see a Nicole. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so I'm just gonna go to Nicole. There we go. Okay, so, oops, good one, Bryn. Immediately I have all of a sudden sinus issues, and all of a sudden I want this draining wants to go in the back of my throat. And you think, God, I got allergies. Something's going on with me. So something's going on around in this energy field that's causing your body to feel like cough, snuff, whatever. It's like, I don't know. Something's going on in this energy field. Well, as I begin to see this, I noticed that it's like you've been accused I feel like in the past, but you kind of hear people accuse, or they'll give you that gesture like, I accuse you. And then without even speaking, or if you hear somebody talk in such a unique way, you did that, didn't you? So I'm feeling gestures and tones and things like this. They're coming out as accusing. And this is the way people talk. Well, no, this is the way that people in your space seem to talk. And they come across as very ego, and that they can't be kind, they have to be right. And so it throws you into feeling when you're around them that like you're in a dark night of soul. It takes, and I notice in the energy field, is that you feel crushed, and that you feel like you know there's a certain kind of doom for the way you think, or you feel under pressure that you have to perform or create and be this character that you don't want to be. And then if you start to become you, then you have to police yourself, and you have to tattle on yourself, and you have to and you're learning to conform yourself back into this different person. Does any of this make sense? Yes. Okay. Now, you know your story. I want you to measure it going, oh my God, yes, it's a 10. Now notice how you know you know. Now we're going to want you to decide if you're ready to get this out, because you can't help but be suspicious of them, because you know you want to hang with them, you want to be with them. It's called family, love, or something. But you know damn well that this is going to happen, so you can't help but be suspicious. First thing that Spirit wants you to do is take care of that habitual fear that this always has to show up. And that you always have to be suspicious, and you always have to go in this whole okay, measure it. Know how you know. And take your left wrist, okay, left wrist, fall under the thumb, 3 fingers, because it's the 3rd finger placement you're going to place your thumb. You're going to hold it soft. Don't push in deep. It's soft. So it's L3S. Finger and palm, create the letter C. Safety, security, stability. And you're going to take the heel of the palm, put it on your forehead, let your fingers drop. And you're going to sit there and go, oh my God, it's a 10. Yes, yes, yes. And you'll start noticing, because for you, I all of a sudden see a picture and you're like, oh my God, yes, every damn time. And you're looking in one direction. Once you realize you're looking there, go, oh, I'm going to stare it down. And then keep holding, keep holding, keep holding. After 10, 15 minutes, and measure again. And if it comes down, you're healing yourself. You're worth it. Keep going until it's 0. Till all of a sudden you start to return to that calmness, and you're like, Now you're going to be tested and you're going to see shit, but if you see it, go immediately start to go there again because you want to train your brain and your body that you don't have to go back to that old story. You're learning how to heal. Keep going. You're worth it. Okay. So we are got Jeno, Sarah, Angela, Crystal, Tamara, and Morgan. Anybody else? I felt like somebody raised their hand and I didn't see it to put their hand in the piff. You are welcome, Nicole. Heal, heal, heal. You are worth it. Sarah? I got Sarah. Okay. Angel. I've never given you a reading before, correct? I can give you one before I do the piffs. If so, I'll do it right now, but I have to get a yes because I just don't read. Okay, so here we go. Angel. There's a lot of galled. Okay, it could be related to a gallstone, whatever, but you're galled. I can't believe that they did that. Oh my God. And so you're set back and you have a certain amount of energy that's just like, what? What? And I feel your brain keeps going over. I can't believe they did that. What? What? As I keep hearing this, what happens is that you're supposed to have apathy. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like, I'm supposed to have apathy. But you're stuck in this, what? So you're doing your best to understand and to be a good person. Who I'm supposed to be. Did we lost our bird. She fell down. Hold on. I'll give you the finish. Exactly. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. Okay. You hold on just a minute. I got to go rescue my bird. Okay. Hi. I need to rescue my birdie. I don't see this will work. Did you fall down? Here you go, baby. Here you go. You got it? Come on, baby. Come on. Oops, you fell. Okay, come on. Hold on. Come on. Very good. You get up there, baby girl. What happened? You all right? I don't know. She just fell. Here, you want a little snack? No? Did you get scared? Aw. Here you go. Here's some more snacks. Thank you so much for waiting. You can't see her. Let me show you. It's pretty big birds. Okay, but she fell. Or she got knocked off one way or the other. Somebody saw that. All right, so you already know exactly what I'm talking about. And now I'm telling you that your body is saying that you go, I give up. So this reaction, this automatic response is that I have to give up on my expectations, whether it's about a dream, it's a career, it's love, whatever. I have to give up. But the gall had set you back really hard. And I says, where do you want him to begin? And they said, it is the brainwashing that you're doing it the wrong way. You have to do it the right way. And you have to. I want you to just take and go, how do I know this feeling? How do I know this? I can, So you're going to take your left wrist, first position, okay? Use your finger, and that's where you place your thumb. You're going to place your thumb soft. Don't push it deep. This is left wrist, first position, soft. Finger in the palm, create the letter C. Safety, security, stability. But the heel of the palm here, and just sit there and go, oh my God, my story is a 10. It just happened. Yeah, that's a fresh experience. And stay there after 10, 15 minutes. Measure again of how you know you know. Sorry, Lindsay, didn't mean to scare you. And then I want you to just go back and finish it off. You are so worth healing and getting yourself back to joy and peace and harmony. Just stay there until all of a sudden it's 0. And you're going to make a big, big difference. Big, big difference. Okay? All righty. Yeah. Maybe Sky's getting her wings. I don't know. Did anybody see what happened? I'll have to rewatch. Because, for some reason, she just went down for the count, big time. Okay, you're worth it. Go heal. Now, I've got all the names, and I'm going to do my best to upload or, we forgot what you call it, share screen, and get you guys to see the duck race. What is this ad? This is an ad. Okay. Hopefully the volume is working. That would be awesome. And I forgot how to start. I got the names. Well, where's the set? I don't hear anything. That's not good. That's open. That's open. One more thing. I have to make sure my volume is open so you guys can enjoy the duck race like I would. Oh, it is on. Well, we'll just have to give it a go. Oh, this has been a while since I've done this. Here we go. So we have all of the contenders. Whack. Okay. Oh, we have a unicorn. Crystal's a unicorn. Angela, you are wearing little hearts all over. Morgan is in the lead. Crystal's coming up. Here comes Tamara. Tamara says, "Oh, screw that. She's just a striped Tamara." Okay. So we have Tamara as our one of the winners out of the 3 pips. So I'm going to put down Tamara. And I will go to the next one. Let's give you guys different costumes. I think this is how I... Nope, wrong, Brenda. Try it again. You know what? I can't figure out how to remember how to shuffle the characters. Oh, well, that's cute. Jen O is wearing purple hearts, I think. Ready? We have the duck race. Let's find out what we've got. And you got Crystal that's in, everybody's floating along. And Angel, yes, you do that right now if you recognize it. And if it comes up again, you do it again. Angela, she's like, oh, I got it. She's playing Miss America. She's playing Miss America, and I think that's really cute. So we're going to put down Angela Stokes. We got one more to go, and let's hit that off. We're going to go. And if you want to re-listen to your readings, just come over to Medicine Woman Soultion. That's Soultion on Facebook. Morgan, Sarah, Morgan, Sarah. Jen O is sneaking up with her little duck. There she comes. Jen O has got it. Miss Jen O, you have gotten it. And what the heck? All right, there goes Charlie now. Okay. So we're going to hit stop share, and I've got to go catch my bird that's running away. Yep. Oh, he's mad. He's going home. He's mad. Oh. All right, I got to go catch my bird. Charlie, come back to mama. Oh, he's walked all the way back to his cage. He's like, screw this. Did you guys have a fight? Could you put him, he's walked all the way to his cage. Okay. All right. That was funny. He's like, I'm done. He walked right to his cage. I'm done with her. Charlie's your dad's name. Oh, well, maybe that's why. That's funny. Oh, that is hilarious. So we're just going to double check to make sure Jen O is here. Okay. Thank you. Yes. Go make sure you put Charlie back in there. He has walked so fast. I think they're done with each other. Yeah, we have Angela, Tamara, and Jen O. I see Angela. Is Tamara here? All right, we have Jen O. Okay, so we just have to see if Tamara is still here. I already closed the duck race, but if we have to do it, okay, good, she's here. All right, here we go. So Tamara will be first because it's on, was it? Yeah. Tamara was first. All right, so Tamara, here we go. That must be a sign for somebody to see my birds act that way. Tamara, what I'm looking at is there's this impending, like a pending outcome. I don't know if you got a court case or something like that. It's like you have to wait for somebody else to make a decision. So it's impending. Somebody else has to come up with the answer. When this happens, there's a great amount of anxiety while you have to wait. Does this make sense? The anxiety in your body is causing disruption in your digestive system, is what I'm getting, because it's like my throat is burning with, oh yes, okay. Okay, and so what's happening is this becomes a territorial issue. If it becomes a territory, mine is mine, yours is yours, or yours is mine, mine is, however it goes, this territory is that you can't be you until this is finished. And so the anxiety, I says, where do you want her to begin? First, to start off with right wrist, third position, soft. So you're going to go right, go down 3, put your thumb as S, soft, and then sit there and feel and measure that impending. Then measure the anxiety. That's 2 things. You would think they're the same, but it's not. You look at the outcome and going, oh my God, but then you're going to look at the anxiety and you're going to measure those and get those out. Now I'm looking to see if there's anything else. They said, do understand that this anxiety has a lot to do with how you were told that you're helpless and you may lose. And then the thought is like, oh my God. And then this is happening. So there's a lot of worst case scenario. And if you're doing any worst case scenario or any of this, that's really putting added pressure on you. Right wrist, first position, soft. So it's R1S, thumb soft. Okay. Go heal it out, Tamara. Learn how to hold space for yourself. Okay. Yeah, she's being really independent compared to what she was in tribal. Wouldn't you say, Nikki? I think so. We're going to go to Angela, Miss Angela. All right, Miss Angela. Giving. Okay, so when you start to give love and support and you don't see it back, it's like, I know how to give love and support. I know how to do this. But I don't see it back. I don't see it back. I see it with restrictions. I see it with, and so knowing that you can't see it, and so you're like, I'm done. I got to give up. I cannot hang with these people. It's just eat me alive. And it's like, there's a right way, according to others, that I want you to go and say, well, they need to do this. If you have a list now, if you are in the opposite where you're being around them and they expect you to show up this way, then you are going to take and you're going to go, okay, I feel that energy, right wrist, third position, soft, and go, oh my gosh, you can feel how it's like they want you to show up their way for them, you're like, whoa. Okay, heal that out, right wrist, third position, soft. Now I said, is there anything else for her? And they said, yes. You have trusted and believed in people and just was sitting on the sidelines for so long, but now you're like, I'm so done with this lofty relationship where this is the way it was with them constantly. I don't want that anymore. I don't want people have to be lofty and I need to do this. No, I'm done. And this is where you have to remove it from the heart, because you're like, I can't be confident when they act this lofty. Left wrist, first position, deep. You got it? All right. I know you got it. I know you can do it. Miss Jen O. They're saying on a spirit level that there's an invading energies coming from somebody. Now, this invading energies is that in the flippant talking is that they love to discourage. You're not feeling well. With love direction. Okay. It's just like discouragement. And after a while, you're just like, why? Now I'm going to look. And it says, there's a part of you that's afraid of something. And so how you used to speak to, convince or help them or manipulate them or whatever to get, come on. Or do this, do that, do this. Somebody exerted their independence somewhere. And they would even get to the point where they were hysterical and they treated you with dishonor. But your soul is saying on a spiritual level, there's a part of you that has got to heal the fear and the stress that would make you think you got to constantly act like this or act like that or do this or do that. The stress of the abusing yourself, the stress. There's a great fear I'm looking at that I have to talk this way, be this way, because that's what I learned. But there is this stress that you can't live without them, or with somebody, it's like you have such fear that I can't, okay, that's the lie, I can't live without them, or I can't survive. I'd say more or less I can't survive without them. Then I mean, there's this survival energy that plays out, and it's so addicting because that's the relationship for so long that made your heart to believe that, oh my God, this is always coming up and I have to cope with this. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And when you start to cope, it's like you have to put up with their, oh, this is the only way to do it. You're stupid. I don't know why you think that. It's like they have this particular lofty energy and you love them so much that you're willing to put up with it because they think their shit don't stink. It's like I'd rather be right than kind. And it's like they were taught that they have to be this ego person, that they have to do things. And so there's this battle that happens. You with me? You understand it? Because there's a part of you that's afraid of being vulnerable. It hurts so bad that you don't know if you can survive, because when you were little you were very vulnerable and you didn't think you're going to survive, so the body is still holding, which means you're going to take and you're going to go, I'm going to leave you find it, letter part right here, you hold it like this. It could be, but I think it's a relationship to everybody. You haven't trained yourself to see it. So just kind of understand the words. Even if you can't see it, just understand how you know that story. Like maybe see a TV show or something. But you breathe in and out, nice and big, and then you tap, and then make sure you breathe in and out and include your chest. Okay. Do a couple rounds of that. All right, and then we will look for the other one. And then in the pericardial reproductive system. So you're going to put your hand down in the right hand side, and you're going to go up. Left. They want you to do left. Sorry, left hand side, right at the belly, above the hairline, where your panties would have not the briefs like I got, not the waist, but where you would have the pubic bone. And put your hand there, and then breathe in, do a couple rounds of that and out, and then make sure you include your thymus. Now, is there any other? The body needs to start to release this because it's holding it, it's holding it, it's holding it. It's holding that this is the way you have to speak. This is the way you have to be treated. This is the way you have to be. And part of you is like, oh God, I don't want to do this anymore. The body is actually saying that it's aging based on the fact that you got to keep playing out these same vibrational stories. And there's a part of you that feels like this self-abuse energy. And you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Okay, now when you start to see it, even if you can just do that, understand the body keeps going into self-preservation. I gotta survive. I gotta do this. I gotta do whatever it takes. And if you can start to see that self-preservation, then right wrist, third position, deep. Does this make sense? R3D. At this point, I say yes to that answer or that question that you have. Okay. All right, is there anybody else? I see we have a gifter. Oh, looks like your name might go in the drawing. I just got to see what you gifted me. Okay. You're welcome. Because when it's a spiritual thing, it's not something you can see really, but yet you can kind of know. But it's also, oh wow, thank you for that. Love that paper crane. Thank you. When the body is holding it versus the mental emotional, is the spiritual part is that you keep doing this particular thing over and over and over and over, and you're getting the same crappy results. And your soul saying it wants to rise. You feel it. Okay. Yes. Because the body is trying to say now it has to age. It has to break down, because it's like putting your foot on the brake and the gas, and eventually the brake pads are going to wear out. And for you, is a lot of criticism that seems to come your freaking way. Thank you, Jade. Appreciate that. That looks good. But you're ready to start shifting on a spiritual level. Your body, physical body is like, oh my God, because your needs aren't met with the whoever these people are. Your needs are not being met. You know, that safety, security, stability. One of them, two of them. So let's find out. Is it safety, security, stability, sanity, serenity? So you don't get serenity and you don't get freedom, the space. So those two are compromised within the needs that you have, and you don't get them. All right, if you're new here, then you get a free reading. And if I've read you before, then you can get a mini for 3, you can get a chat for 12, or you can come in live or just audio for 24. I believe Amy is next. Just double checking. Yes, okay, so I'm going to go over and get the, let's try this again. Copy link, got it. Yeah, there she is. And I'm going to double check to make sure that I didn't miss anybody. Okay, good. Remember to hit love, likes, so that I can see that you're here. It helps out to promote in some form of way of giving back. I appreciate that. Alrighty. You are amazing beings. You are definitely amazing beings. And when you begin to understand how to become your 5%, then all of a sudden you become more amazing beings. I must say, she just loves sitting up there by herself, don't she? You doing good? Huh, Sky? Yeah, you just need a little you time. Okay, no problem. Independence. Hi, how are you?
I am good. How about you?
I'm doing good. I don't know what's going on with my birdies today, but we'll find out.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
It's like she fell off, or did he push her? Or did she jump just to get away? And then he just huffed and puffed it all the way back to his cage. He's like, let me in. And I'm like, well, he's standing by the door. I've never seen him walk so fast. He usually lumbers. You know,
he was mad.
Oh, yeah, he booked it. I'm like, oh my God, talk about a tiff. Maybe she can't be manipulated. Who knows? How are you and how can I help?
I have been cold. I've been hot. I've been cold most of the day.
I will be glad when you get your ass to the doctors and about those medications.
Monday.
Thank God.
Monday.
It can't come quick enough. Isn't that what your dream was about?
I was thinking the same
I think
thing.
that's what your dream was about. You had, taken medicines, I think it was.
Yeah, it was about one of them where the dream that I had, I was at your house and you had gone downstairs, even though I know you live in a single floor house. It was a 2-story house, and you had gone downstairs to talk to Alan, and you came back up and asked me if I had taken one of my medicines, and I said, no, I haven't been taking it. And you said something about none of us are in sync, and Alan said, don't do the show.
Okay. So first of all, when you think about me, you have to give me a descriptor word. When you think of Alan, you have to give it a descriptor word. Upstairs, meaning that you went to your higher self and you're up in the higher self, but medication's interfering so you can't reach that part of yourself, let alone whatever the descriptor of me and Alan are. Or the representation of the male and female parts of who you are.
I have to say love for both of you.
Okay. You cannot seem to feel and be in sync with the love for yourself, either yin or yang. Sounds like both. You're not able to when you're in your higher consciousness or in your subconscious. So something is interfering. And when your nervous system is doing what it's doing to you, and I have been concerned about this for a good month or two, and we've had to wait for this appointment. Oh my God, it can't come quick enough. Thank you, Spirit, for her grace and ease of how she does this. Okay. But the reason that came up is there's a certain amount of emptiness. When your mom and dad were, when you had to leave the nest while they were alive, there was a certain amount of emptiness. And then you came back, you fulfilled that. So you didn't have that emptiness. And then when they started getting sick and leaving, you had to face that emptiness again. Okay. And through time, you covered up that emptiness. But now, I said, do you need to heal some emptiness? And they said, yes. It has a lot to do with where'd my happy go? So there's a party that still believes your happiness lives outside of you, and that somebody else has to make the happiness for you. How do you feel about that now?
That makes perfect sense.
How do you know
Makes
you know?
Conversation I had today.
Fresh experience. Okay, good.
Yeah. Talked for 2 hours and about nothing and everything all at the same time. That makes sense.
Yep. Okay.
It just, I guess I needed that fresh experience today.
Yeah, you did. Because again, it was about happiness.
Mm-hmm.
So when you were little, would you say that you expected to find happiness outside of you? Yes or no?
Yes.
And when you got older, it was you started learning that people could take away your happiness. Yes or no?
Yes.
And as you started to grow, there was a part of you that didn't grow, and you kind of felt like shit. You would look to people to get the happiness. Yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
And when you allowed yourself to feel alone, you didn't want to feel the emptiness, so you would find things outside of you to make you happy. Yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
So the question is now, I'm going to check. Do you feel like you have got, okay, the emptiness is very strong. It's something that you hadn't seen before or didn't realize was there. Now is coming to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you that the first thing I'm going to do is I want you to hold R3S. And I want you to feel the duress of emptiness, how it's going to sell you a bill of goods. And you're going to have to think about how that emptiness has told you lies and how you have fear with it, that you have no choice. The duress. What number is it that you're starting out with?
9.
Very good, very good. And when I look at you looking at that fresh experience today, did you feel empty?
Kinda.
All right, I'm trying to figure out why you have this fresh experience, and all of a sudden, here we go. I'm looking at a lie. There was a lie within the conversation today. It wasn't that, oh, I had to tell a lie. It was, there was a lie from your youth. So I don't know who and what you did, talked or whatever, but there was a lie. Now, what I'm looking at is there's spelling that you had to sell yourself short and to get rid of the incompatibility feeling. Where did Amy go? Did you feel like you left in that conversation?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a certain amount of incompatibility that you didn't want to feel. Now you got me curious, but of course we're not going to discuss names or any of that on the air, so we may have to end up doing healing. But I feel like there's a certain amount of loftiness. Was it, so were you, okay, look at me. Were you here and they here? Did they create a certain amount of lofty in a conversation?
Yep.
Okay, okay. When that energy began to happen, did it cross the line in your aura? Or did it was like, I have to show up this way? Did you feel like you had no rights? Oh, you got rights.
I felt like it crossed the line to, I mean, it invaded my bubble.
Okay, that's okay, excellent. But did they know that they were doing it?
No,
And
no
you
clue.
notice, but you notice. Now, note, there you go. How did you first know that first inkling that it was going to happen? It didn't just happen. You went, you kind of knew. I can see that you knew it was coming. There, that's what I want you to do. Right there. Feel how weak you felt. Feel that deficiency. Feel how you're like, oh shit, I couldn't make it stop. Yep, see, she's going right through it again, and she's letting the energy move through her body. So if you're wondering why she's jerking around, freaking out, it's because energy is moving. Oh, did they put in an impending outcome, impending fear, pending, something's coming, impending. I don't know what that is, but you're like,
Yeah.
Jesus, I'm so sorry you had to go through this today. This isn't a pretty conversation. Were you even aware? Yeah, you did. Okay, hold on. There was that. You knew it was coming, though. From what okay, it's not as strong. I knew it was coming. It's not as strong, which is good. But the deficiency, it's like you were told this. It's like I have to memorize myself to be deficient because this is the way that I've always shown up. Man, that just smacked my root chakra. And then sent this energy up my buttocks. It's not quite up my spine, but it just like took and rocked the foundation and kind of, do you understand? There was just, it felt like an earthquake down there. It was like,
yeah.
Boy, immediately then, I'm irrelevant. I don't matter in this conversation. I'm just having this conversation. Were you very robotic? Okay, so we're going to stop. We're going to help your body because one of the things I'm watching is that I asked if it was, SP, alarm, or spine, and it said alarm. So you're going to follow along with me. I'm going to look for this particular thing, okay? It's in your stomach. That's why I feel like I'm ungrounded. So you're going to put your hand like this. Use more of this because I want this positive, neutral, and negative. Like we're going to plug it in. So then you're going to go on both sides of the brain. Just kind of breathe in. But this time I want you to go down just the spine, just a little bit on your neck. Just a little bit on your neck in the first 3 positions. And then come on back, breathing in and out. There's one. Do it again. And then you're going to go to your thymus when you're done. All the way up. And you go right here. What is it? I just heard you say I don't want to heal something.
What?
I just heard you say I don't want to heal something. Okay, keep going. We're going to do this. I'm going to ask, do you want me to continue with this? Yes. Okay, we're going to continue with this. I don't know. You just yelled at me. I'm not going to heal that. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but we'll find out. Hopefully you'll allow me to. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Now I'm just going to double check. There is one more. Bladder. You have no will. Oh my God, it's like gone. So you'd be on the top of the pubic bone and then just kind of go all the way back. Do include the first part of your back there and then come back up. However you choose to do it. There you go. You got it. And then you're going to include your thymus. Okay. Now, let's find out what this is before we go to anything else. Do you need to do that other one? No, we took care of that. So on a success level, you're going to start doing R3S because you, without realizing it, becomes muddled and your stability just goes out the window. This is where you're hot, cold. It's more than medication. So I'm looking at this. I'm going to ask, what age came up that told me they didn't want to heal? Your 5-year-old self. What don't you want to heal? The habit of, I have to be nice so they'll be good to me. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect
Was there a
sense.
lot of fear to actually have a voice in this conversation? What would happen if you weren't nice, or I'm afraid to let them down, or I feel like you were criticized so much as a child that you just took it on as your fault. And as soon as they take their love away, oh, I didn't mean to say that. I'm a bad person. Come back, I will change.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's what I want you to focus on.
I know how I felt.
Okay, get that number for me. What is that? Okay, and where do I have you hold? R3S, is that where I've got you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, notice that you're well, look, is it safe, stability, sanity? Your serenity is gone. Where'd my happy go? And the freedom, the space. No, okay, so it's like safety, security, secure. So there's a lot of insecure on just half of you. On half of you, it's in your subconscious mind. That's okay. Male side of you, so you can't take action. That's why Alan in the dream, you can't take action because he's a male. The stability part is you feel stable even though they're rocking the boat, and you're like, I have to compromise, but it's instability. That's how I know it's stable. So if somebody's rocking the boat and you learn to it's like you got sea legs, okay? So you're in the boat, you're fine, and as soon as you get off the boat, you're going to get sick. So your way of being for so long, oh, God, Jesus. My molars in the back, both top and bottom, are in pain. Ow. So all your decisions you've ever had, you've had no choice. Good Lord. Oh, you just said, why don't they see me? It's not even to the person that you talked to today.
No, I just got taken back to being 7 years old. When Colonel died, they didn't see me.
Correct.
Oh, she'll be fine.
Very good, very good.
I just heard, I don't want to go alone.
Ooh. Same position. So you were taught that if you go alone, you're going to screw it up. You were taught that you were supposed to fear it. Oh, hold on. What age were you when you walked to Grandma's house by yourself?
I think I was 9, just about 10.
Okay. When you think about, because I feel like they kind of wanted to drill this in you, don't walk out of the yard or something bad's going to happen, or don't talk to strangers, something bad's going to happen. I feel like there's a lot of things that if you were to go out in that world, something bad was going to happen, teaching.
Yeah, if I went anywhere to play, it had to be across the alley because it was safe walking across the alley. It wasn't safe walking across the street.
All right, so we have an old instilled belief system. It's like why did I find a chiropractor today that thinks the way I do? Because I no longer believe that I have to feel like, because I was told in my 40s, oh, you'll have to learn how to get up like an old person, and eventually you'll probably have to move to taking a cane. And I'm like, oh, heck with that shit. That's your belief system. And then I got one today, expect miracles. I'm like, all right.
Cool.
Very good, very good. All right, so when you begin to notice this, what number are you at right now?
I feel like it's 4.
Okay, so you have a journey, part of another quest that you're looking at, and it's about this deficiency. And I say it's a 4. Do you want her to finish off? They go, begin to notice that we have to respect the fact that you said, oh, I don't really know if I want to heal this. So that means that you don't want to tell yourself something just yet. You have to experience something to understand what she's saying. And it has everything to do with incompatibility feeling and where did my happiness go. Okay, so you're changing that route, but yet you got to honor what she learned, whatever it is, because she still believes it's her truth. Does this make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're going to get the golden white light, connect it one into your heart, do all that, get that going, and we're just going to respect the fact that your little at this point is saying that it needs to be her.
Mm-hmm.
We will do that. Okay.
Robin just said they're in a power outage. Yeah.
That's shocking.
They're getting snow and rain. Yeah.
Oh, are they really? Where's that at?
Pennsylvania.
Gotcha. Do I answer love questions? I answer them in a way that is... How do I answer all that? Amy? Give me a good example.
You answered them in a way that the soul is asking that person to heal so that they can actually draw the love in.
Exactly.
Rather than just a yes or no question.
So if you're looking for a free reading, I'll give you one on that, but understand I will give you something that your soul wants you to address, look at, heal, and grow from so that you don't have to repeat the past. You can create a new future. Thank you, Amy. How do you feel? Witness is what you can.
Better. I'm still cold, but I'm not as cold as I was. It's not necessarily core chills now. It's just kind of more, I'm just cold.
Right. I ask if there's anything else. They go, no, not yet. We still have to respect that little that believes in deficiency. Okay. That makes sense? All righty. Thank you so much, hon. I'm going to let you go. And go warm up. Go get a blankie.
Yeah.
Get your kitty slippers on.
I got my pink ones on.
Oh, excellent, excellent. All right, hon. Well, I love you and good job. Thank you for everything. And the pips were great today, so I love that. And we'll talk to you later, okay? All right, bye.
All right. Bye.
All right, so we're going to give this person a reading over here, or Aurora. Good Lord. Martinson? Aurora. Okay, my mouth don't want to say certain vowels. That's fine. She says, I would want to hear anything that comes up. I believe what I need to hear will come. All right, so on a spiritual level, I always ask soul, what is it you want that person to know so they can grow? And in this case, we are going to... Okay, there is an, oh my God, moment in your life around 7 years old. And this, oh my God, started to attract people in that would repeat the same shitty story. Okay, so what an OMG is where you had given your life force, your willpower to life just happened and it wasn't pretty and the Akashic record was open. And so what happens with that in the attraction factors, you have to keep playing out and drawing these people in so that you, until you heal that Akashic record. What I'm looking at is there's always this impending, I don't want to say doom, impending that this is the way I'm always attracting these type of men in, or I'm always attracting that type of person. Whether it's family, friends, or relationships and love in different areas. Love is a sex, or love is friends, love whatever. The point is you keep attracting people in that take your territory. And it always some form of a territory, and it's like they use lies and manipulation and tools and gameplays. And then there's a part of you that always feels like you become less than, and that you seem to, here we go again. So do you find things repeating in your life that you don't like? It's because of this particular thing that occurred. Now, what you don't get stuck on what happened, but I wanted you to get stuck and listen to the emotion that's stuck, which is contempt. It's like, eventually these people have this contempt Now, go look up that word. It has many different definitions, but I want one that clicks for you. You're like, oh, yeah, that's it. That describes my world. Then when you get it, I want you to understand there's a part of you that starts to, I'm not giving you my love anymore. I'm going to hold this grudge, and you hold this grudge. I hold this grudge. And this is what relationships end up looking like. Like there has to be a grudge match. Do you understand what I mean? And when this happens, there's a lot of unfair communication, unfair things that happen. It goes on and on and on and on and on. And I said, what do you want her to do to help disrupt this? They go, well, she's got to stop having so much empathy because I feel like you're kinesthetic. And when you look somebody in the eyes, you understand what's going on and you lost the fight before you began. Does this relate? Do you understand? Do you resonate? Tell me what you know. Because the body is addicted to a certain amount of behavior and emotion. So it's got to repeat this. This is part of the program. It's got to be like a certain seasons. It has to always come up with this particular story, always a certain amount of, I feel, I don't want to say rewards and punishment, but what I feel would be, this is my drama. You don't really want to be in drama anymore. I feel like your heart wants to get out of the drama stage and attract people in that don't have that. Have I lost you? Have you followed? Do you understand? Because I can give you a healing tool. Or did they leave? Feedback and is good. And as far as delay time, I never know how long it takes. Yeah, that would be awesome. Did you relate to what I said though? Because if you can't relate, then you may want to come over to Woman Soultion on Facebook and watch the video again, or you can go over YouTube and Woman Soultion, that's SOULTION, and watch the video. Now, the Facebook has timestamps, YouTube doesn't. But when you finally decide, yeah, that makes sense to me, because you're supposed to not have, no, your statement didn't come up, Sweet Pea. Somebody on the other side, did they call you Sweet Pea? Because all of a sudden it's like they wanted to give them terms of endearment. Because yes, there's a part of you that's something about no empathy. I don't want to have to empathize. I don't want you. And it's like the boundary keeps getting crossed. What I want you to understand is that you don't need to feel small. You don't have to have this impending feeling, and you don't have to take on their contempt. So they want you to take and just say, okay, I measure my story. It's a 3 or it's a 10 or it's a whatever. It's worse. Or I just had a fresh experience. This thing is 10 plus. You're going to take your left wrist because you're going to be tested once you do this. So you're going to say, I'm going to say that this is an 8. Okay. And then you're going to take your left wrist, follow the 3 fingers to help you line up. Then you're going to go to the 3rd position and place the thumb. Then you're going to push in deep, not soft. So it's L3S or L3D, deep. Put your finger in the palm, create the letter C, safety, security, stability. Now you're going to place your palm, your heel on your forehead and let your fingers drop. Now sit there and just feel. Don't intellectualize this because of this. No, I want you to feel the sensations. I want you to go, this is what, step by step. Yeah, man. And just allow yourself to let the thoughts come up. Don't try to control them. About 15 minutes later, measure again. If the number's coming down, you're healing yourself. Get back into holding it back until it gets to 0. And then when something happens, you're like, oh, shit, there it is. Scale it, hold it, heal it. Okay? All right. You are welcome. Did it make sense though? You are learning how to heal and listen to parts of your soul, and you can heal with your innate wisdom. Good. Go heal. You are worth it. Be consistent. This is the new self-care, and you wait until your brain starts to feel clear and you get yourself out of stress, you get back into calmness. But use the healing tools. You don't intellectualize, because it's, we don't want you to stay where you are unless that's what you want. Okay. Ah, temperature just must have went up. It's 80 something. It's starting to feel a little warm, but not bad. Hi, Elizabeth. How are you? I could, yeah. Yep. Now, Donna, have I ever read you before? If I haven't, then you get a free one. Just double check and see how everybody's doing. Everybody looks like they left Facebook. So I'll finish up here. And, all right, Donna, are you ready? Okay. Whew. You're looking at the self, and when you start to understand, when you look at the self, don't let your ego or that old mindset of denigration and judging look at you, because that's not the real you. You have to understand you need to go move to the heart and let your heart, not of pain but of love, look at you. And what happens is that you're going to start catching when you have to behave a certain way to people and you're like, but I don't want to behave that way. So now you're going to start to see your contrast and the conflict, and notice how easy it is for you to do what they ask instead of go, wait a minute, I want to do what I want. Okay. Now, Donna, if we look a little bit further, begin to notice that there's a great amount of alarm that if you were to actually say you truth, they would start spitting out negative energy or darts or however it is. And that's the part of you that goes, I don't want that. I don't want that. I can't tolerate that. I have no self-regulation for that. That hurts. And already. And that means that your 5-year-old self says, I didn't know what to do with it. So I have an auto response. And so I have to always act a certain way when I'm around people. And you don't know how to handle their emotional instability. Well, it's not your job to handle their emotional instability. They don't need to throw their weight around until you change. It is, no, I'm going to take my hand out of the fire. I'm not going to stick it back in. I love you and I respect the fact I respect myself. So when people start throwing a little tantrums or they start doing this, you don't have to go into, oh my God, it's my fault, or I feel empty. I have to keep doing this all the time. And your heart is saying, it's time. It's time. Like, it's got to stop saying, I can't be confident because I'm going to get crushed. That's where you're going to take your left wrist first position, push in deep, create the letter C, safety, security, stability, and then you're going to put the heel of the palm on your forehead and let your fingers drop. And then you're going to sit there for 15 minutes and go, oh my God, how do I know this? Ah! And then heal. Don't go, it's because of this, this, this. That's not going to do anything. I want you to go, get into it. After 15 minutes, you notice the number has gone down. You're healing yourself. Good job. Keep going until it's 0. And then when you get tested and it comes up, grab the tool, heal it out again. Measure and heal it out. You're going to eventually you're going to learn to create a different pathway. And you're going to learn how to create a new healthy boundary. There may be more points down the road. We don't know. So, Elizabeth, if you have never had a reading from me before, then you get a free one. But if you have, then, you can have whatever, a mini or chat or a video. So it's up to you. Tell me what you need. I haven't seen anything come through yet if you're paying. Donna, heal. Go literally heal how you know your life, and you will transform that thinking back to peace. And you can start to learn to have peace. And when you get out of that, you can go, oh my God, I'm going to heal myself. And then you'll start to learn how to miss that when you're joy and you're calm. Okay? And so you'll go, oh, I want to heal. I want to move. I want to get back into who I am. If you really want to rewatch this again, then all you have to do is go to Medicine Woman Soultion. That's Soultion. And you can find it on YouTube or Facebook. Facebook will have the timestamps. Okay, I will wait for it to come in. I'll wait for it to come in. Oops, don't hit the wrong button, Brenda. You're not ready to hang up. Good, Donna, you're worth it. And the more you start to heal and you get your brain back, you're going to go, ooh, this is the new self-care. I like this. And then you're going to keep allowing yourself to feel better and better. All right, just a mini read. You want just spirit to choose, or is there a particular thing you want me to address? You let me know, Elizabeth. Opened anything. Gotcha. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Spirit is telling me that you need some points. So how was your mental thinking today? I feel like it's off just enough that it's like somebody came in, said some shit, and threw you off your guard. They're telling me that I could actually have you rub some points on your body that would actually shift the way you're thinking, which means you'd have to go, how is my feeling, my thinking? It's maybe meh, or it's or but you need to have a measurement, and if you get that measurement, then we're going to help you understand that the answer you seek is after you balance your brain. And if you're ready to play along, then you're going to go to the right hand. Right hand, you're going to go under the pinky, right at the wrist, at the bend. See, it's not on the side, it's right there. And you're going to push in, and you're going to rub 30 times. Nice and deep, don't slide. Push in 30 times. If you will follow along, then we can get you with success to shifting that energy field. Tell me if you've done it and that you're going to do it, then we can go that fashion. If you've decided that I'm going to give you more than a couple minutes. All right, when you're done, just hit done. So it'll look like she's got a longer read, but we're doing something different, something physical. Okay. When you're done with that, you're going to go over to your right hand again. Now, this time it is above the crick, and it is at the fattest part of the side of where your pinky is. And then you are going to take and push in, and you'll feel like a ledge or a little bone there. That's where you're going to rub, and you're going to do 30 times. Okay, right there. Feel like a little ledge, 30 times. And when you get done with that, you say done, and we'll give you the next thing if that's what's required. Got a new chickadee I can hear out there. Okay, so on the foot, and you're going to do both right foot on the right foot. Okay, that means you're going to follow the pinky toe up right into the middle. And what does that mean? That means you're going to take and push in. It's not on the bottom, it's right there. It's like right in the middle. Okay, it could be off, whatever, it's right in here. And push in and deeply rub 30 times. Then when you're done with that, and if you honestly did it nice and deep, then you can go back and measure, how are your thoughts? Are they negative? Are they positive? Do you feel calm? Where are you at, Elizabeth? We're just going to see how she is. $1:37. I was just looking at my time. I got an appointment today, and I got to make sure I get there. But that's not until a little later. I recognize that I had a lot of brain fog and overwhelm. It's better. So you're starting to become aware that what you just did was just move energy on 3 points. And it's better. Now you want me to go further? Okay, because I can give you a couple more. You're going to go up to the right hand, and you're going to go to that point, okay, the heart again, and you push in and deeply rub 30 times. And that's the heart point. That's the heart point. I feel like my camera is not working properly. Oh, gracious. I got to check this out. No, it's not that. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Ooh. Well, there's it. All right, just found the off balance, and we just shifted into a different timeline of how your body's holding. So you're going to use the left hand, and you're going to turn around, same point as we had on the right, but here we're going to take that little ledge, we're going to put palm, flip it, back of the hand, flip it, palm, flip it. You're going to do both sides of the hand. This is a form of magnetic self, and you're going to do it over that point, 12 on each side, 24 in total. Okay, and when you're done, you're going to go into that point and you're going to rub 30 times. That should really shift. And then you're going to tell me when you're done, you're going to assess how you feel mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, and you'll just realize that your body is an amazing thing. Remember, you can rewatch these again and again and again. Just go over to Facebook, Medicine Woman Soultion. That's SOULTION, or over to, and you look under videos, and then you look over to Medicine Woman Soultion on YouTube. Now, the timestamps will be on the Facebook one. Just remember, yours is towards the end. So we're just going to wait until she's done, and then gives us a comment back to how she is feeling. How she is feeling, because once her mind is more balanced, then the issues that she had, I tend to disassociate a lot and feel like I have vertigo, but it's not medical. This helps. The heart point was the most noticeable. Yes, I would use that again and again. You can do both sides if necessary. Right now we broke up a pattern that you're used to doing, and all of a sudden the body goes, I don't think I have to. So the thing that you wanted a reading, but at the same time, this was the reading, but now your mind is more clear that you're going to get more answers on a more healthier level. Okay? All right. Thank you all for joining me in today's program. And this is Thursday. Oh, so I'll wait until, so remember I do 2 shows twice a week. And we will be seeing you next time I'm on. And if you want to grow any more for soul group coaching, we do have Tribal that joins up once a week. And it is my Tuesday in Adelaide or Monday in the United States. But either way, you have help. And it's a cheaper version than having to, if you don't have a lot of money, this is a way to do it. So it's only $36 a month. But you get a lot out of it. Okay. Thank you so much, people. Elizabeth says this makes sense. Thank you. You are welcome. Now, I want you to witness. Oh, God, I feel better. Write it down, because your ego is going to make you say, oh, this never happened. That's why rewatching it helps. Writing it down, training the brain that you can get yourself out of any shit show if you choose to, and that you have more that you can get out of life when you move those energies. Okay? All right. Hashtag thank you, Spirit. Hashtag heal instead of deal. Hashtag resolve to evolve. Hashtag when in doubt, grab a healing tool and heal it out. Now, there's many more, but at this point, you are blessed and whole. So stay blessed and happy healing. Okay? We'll see you soon.